Good morning. It's my great pleasure being here with you. Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Noemi, for inviting me. I really enjoy coming back to this event every year. And ShowIT, well, it's 3 days about technology, and I personally do believe that today, in terms of technology, we do live in a world of milk and honey. We talk a lot about cloud, and cloud in reality is a very democratic tool, because cloud does not care if you work for a rich company or a poor company, a big company or a small company. Cloud does not care where you are. Cloud gives us, again, a platform where we can live a dream and we can follow a crazy idea. And always when there is a big change, when there is a big change in technology, as well, it does make sense to make a step aside, because we have unlearned to dream. We have unlearned to be crazy, because we're all working on our daily jobs, kind of following rules. But cloud kind of is asking us, is shouting, is really crying for breaking the rules. So it's good to make a step aside, and as always people have done this, for instance, at the World Fair in the 60s, where people came together and were thinking, what kind of how will people live in the year 2000? How might it look like in 50 years? How will people live, work? And of course, most of the visions, most of the statements, or what people could imagine, has been out of space. But some of the visions and some of the statements were recorded at this time as well, and they have been shocking close to reality. And let me share what A.C. Clarke what A.C. Clarke shared in an interview in the year 1964 on BBC.
But what about the city of the day after tomorrow, say the year 2000? I think it will be completely different. In fact, it may not even exist at all. Oh, I'm not thinking of the atom bomb and the next Stone Age. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough which has been made possible by developments in communications, particularly the transistor and, above all, the communications satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location. It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London. In fact, if it proves worthwhile, almost any executive skill, any administrative skill, even any physical skill, could be made independent of distance. I am perfectly serious when I suggest that one day we may have brain surgeons in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand. When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point, and the traditional role of the city as a meeting place for man would have ceased to make any sense. In fact, men will no longer commute, they will communicate. They won't have to travel for business anymore, they'll only travel for pleasure. I only hope that when that day comes, and when the city is abolished, the whole world isn't turned into one giant suburb.
Well, I think it's incredible, right? The only thing maybe which is not really became true is that we're still building megacities, and the cities in the world are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But in many cases, I think we even have exceeded these dreams. We even have exceeded this vision. We do communicate to people all around the world, and it doesn't matter where they are. Technology-wise, we are very, very close to each other today. And that does not come by itself. Of course, in the beginning, it always needs kind of some companies, or sometimes even governments, big companies, small companies with tech labs, and some money behind to invent technology. But then in reality, it needs people who are brave enough to adopt the new technology, to bring it to life, to kind of start walking this way. And it needs millions and millions of administrators, people who do write code and put it together. And in reality, these people are all of you here here in this room, because you make it happen on a daily basis that this technology really gets filled with life. In reality, when we think about the modern world, the people here in this room, these are the real superheroes, and I really want to thank you for doing that. But it's always the toughest statement in leadership. When something has been achieved, they say, let's do it again. So are we ready to do it again? Because kind of looking back a couple of months ago, our new CEO said, our industry does not respect tradition. The only thing our industry does respect is innovation. And it's good or bad, we might like it or might not like it, but we have to accept that most probably we do live in the fastest changing industry. In an industry in a world where when a product comes to life, is seen as an innovation, it matures in a very, very, very fast way. And while we were talking about cloud for many years already, cloud became from a child, became an adult. Cloud matured. Cloud is ready to use not only for small pilot projects. And don't get me wrong, I do know that everybody kind of starts with something small to gain trust. But in reality, cloud is ready for the big things. And when I look on cloud, I even have to say I don't consider cloud computing as innovation anymore, because cloud is out there for many years. The real innovation today is what we build on it. And I see it on a weekly basis when I'm talking to customers and partners. When they're building small bits and pieces on the cloud, what's going on. It's not big now, but I really can see the wave already. And when we think about the rooms we're operating in, it's quite similar to this room here, right? Cloud is changing the concept we're thinking. We have to get out of this room here. We have to break some rules with the new opportunities. And the new room we're sitting in does more look like this one. It's a more creative environment where we not only communicate and connect to people, but we do start connecting to all the things around us. And when we're doing that, kind of this ends up in our vision, which is kind of mobile-first and cloud-first world. Microsoft is aiming and putting all the efforts, all the investment, all the activities we do behind this vision, this North Star. We're going with cloud computing in the mobile world, and everything what we do is aligned to it. And of course, in the mobile world, you do need devices to use it. Can you imagine a device where nothing is running on? A device without the service is nothing. The service itself is only realized really when it's consumed by a device, and the device gets magnified when by the service which is running on it. And there is tremendous causality between the cloud and the devices in the front end, because it's incredible computing power and security in the back end, and then it comes down with the service and the devices. And there is a very strong correlation even when we think about big data, how these data are connected, how do we get out of these masses of data real information for our business, for our private life. And again, the correlation between the cloud is one chain down on security and management on device and service. It's not allowed to have one part of this chain broken or a failure in this chain. And kind of we're working on these building blocks already for quite some years. And I think it's fair to say that all these building blocks during the last years really did mature. We have deployed it, we have tested it, we have developed again, deployed and tested. So the things are out there, they're waiting for us, they're waiting to be used. And I do know that it's not an easy recipe. Because again, we do sit in a room like this auditorium. It's not an easy recipe to break kind of the way how we have been successful the last 20 years. But when it comes to cloud, we really we do have to start dreaming more than being realistic in many cases, because this might make impossible things really become true. And in the background, we have connected all the dots technology-wise. All these things are really working together already today, and as I said, it's ready and it is mature. And for sure, you will have a lot of questions, and I'm very happy that you joined ShowIT, because this is the place to ask questions. And let me show you a couple of questions you might as well have.
There's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, honey.
I need to spin up a SharePoint farm and test our new deployments. Should I look at Windows Server 2008 R2 or Windows Server 2012 VM images? And how many instances and what size would you recommend? Optional add-ons? A4? A5? A6? A9?
So the guy is complaining it took him 2 months to get an appointment with me. So I take one look at his teeth, and I say, I wish you would have come to see me sooner. Do you have any questions for me before we get started?
I have a website built on Windows Azure websites with a SQL database. How do I connect the iOS, Android, and Windows Phone apps I'm building to the SQL database my website is using?
We have 140 servers, and we expect capacity to grow 40% next year, which, by the way, will max out our current data center space. Does it make sense to expand, or should we move some of our workload to the cloud?
So we're here to kind of answer the questions, and you can ask, please don't ask your dentist or your date. You can ask the team around me. My team is ready to answer some question, and just the speaker right after me is able to answer a lot of questions. Because we do know that it's kind of a difficult journey, and we won't let you swim alone on this way. We do believe that together, with the technology we do have, when we work together, we can really, again, change the world. We can become bold, and we can dream absolutely about new things in this mobile-first and cloud-first world. There is only one thing, one piece missing, and we will talk as well during the 3 days a lot about this one piece which is just now missing. And this piece just missing now and ready to go, I think that's Windows 10. And let me just tease a couple of minutes on Windows 10, because I really do believe that in this chain from the cloud and services, this makes a big, big difference for all of us. It makes all our lives much easier. When we think about Windows 10, we're going in a direction which kind of will enable a unified application platform. It will be one deployment scenario, one management system, but even more important, maybe, it will enable a unified user experience across all the devices we do have. When I talk about all devices, I really do mean all devices, because it really all devices, it starts on the phone, and this journey started with Windows 8, where we have converged the operating system kernel from Xbox and Windows Phone 8. We did another step with Windows 8.1 and Windows Phone 8.1, where we converged the app model. And finally, Windows 10, which is just ready to be used, and I hope many of you are already testing it and are very happy to use it. With Windows 10, we're unifying all the platforms. It will be one operating system, not only for PC, for Xbox, for the phone, but as well for all the devices for Internet of Things, because it comes with a security model as well for all the sensors and can be used on it. When I talk about all devices, I really mean it, kind of from a phone to the phablets, to small tablets, large tablets, two-in-ones, the desktops, and even kind of Internet of Things, the sensors, Xbox, and the big, big, large touchscreens. When we talk about Windows 10, we do believe it's designed for us to walk really the way we do live and we do work. It's about user experience. Everybody who was able to use Windows 7 will be very familiar with the new, user interface as well on Windows 10. When we think about devices, Windows 10 works across all devices. Doesn't matter which price point you're choosing, the very cheap ones or the very expensive high-end ones, and the industry devices designed for industry use. And the Internet of Things, it comes with real-time information for the business. All about that you will hear a little bit later. But all that as well kind of is Windows 10, and let me show what we do think about Windows 10. I would like to show. Okay, well, this video is not working. It's a shame, because it's a very nice one where we as well have parts of HoloLens you might have seen. We're very proud of that innovation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me just finish here with this slide. As I said, our vision, we're putting all our efforts behind this statement that we're going into cloud-first, mobile-first world. when we really look on what's going on within our customer base, with our partners, cloud kind of is really getting started. Well, people start using it. I really do believe we kind of again start to have more dreams on technology. We're coming from a time, maybe many years ago, we had a lot of dreams, but technology was not ready to fulfill these dreams. Today it's the other way around. We do have a base of technology which is enabling almost everything you can dream of, and I think we need to be a little bit more crazy again. I'm very happy that you're here. Please ask a lot of questions during the next days, and please go home with a couple of crazy ideas, and let's create again the future based on this new technology. Thank you very much.